Hello, magical friends. I have just filmed the whole thing of me making what I'm about to show you. Probably took me like almost 2 hours, and I was gonna speed it up and voice over the process and do a junk journal with me video, but I thought that my phone had enough battery to make through the whole thing, and I was wrong. So it died at the end of filming and deleted all the footage instead of saving it. So instead of walking you through how I made what I made, I'm just going to show you what I made, because I think that you might find it useful and or cool. I find it to be, well, I'll let you know. I think it's really cool, and I think it's going to be really useful. So if you're a creative person, which if you're watching this video, you probably are, you might have heard of the 100-Day Project. Which if you haven't, it's cool, because I only just heard about it last year, and I didn't even know that it was like operating on a specific schedule. I thought it was just like a thing that you could start your 100 days at any time, which was really low pressure, so I didn't do it. And maybe it is. Maybe you can do that. But there's also, for sure, there is like an official time that it happens each year. And it starts tomorrow, my friends. If you're watching this the day it comes out, it starts on February 18th, 2024. And for 100 days, you commit to working on a creative endeavor of your choice. And you can make that as simple as I'm going to draw a little sketch every day for 100 days, or I'm going to do 15 minutes of watercolor, or 15 minutes of junk journaling, or I'm going to take one photo, or I'm going to take one photographic still life every day for 100 days. I have decided to make it, so you can make it as simple or as complicated as you want. You can make it as specific or as open-ended as you want. And like, you know, there's no like 100-day challenge police. So there's no one who's going to be like, oh, if you skip a day and you have to make it up at the end, you lose. So, you know, I'm going to try not to skip a day, but also my baby's due date is within these 100 days. It's towards the end, but it's within the 100 days. The 100 days goes past my due date by about 2 weeks. So I'm aware that things outside of my control may get in the way of my 100-day challenge. And I've decided to have a little grace with myself and to do it anyway, and also to be really ambitious with what I'm doing. So, and what I'm going to show you in this video, since I haven't given you any context, really, other than a lot of context about the 100-day project or the 100-day challenge or whatever it's called, is I have made in my junk journal slash grimoire slash journal slash book of many things, I have made a little accordion section for tracking my 100-day challenge specifically. And I will show you this whole thing in just a moment, but I just want to continue telling you what my project is. So my project is, I am a singer-songwriter. You may know this. I have one album out. It's called Wildflowers. I record under the name Vervain and the Roses. And so if you want to go listen to it, just search Wildflowers, Vervain and the Roses, or click any of the links in the description down below. It's on all the usual musical platforms. And I have, you know, several other albums in the cauldron of myself working on becoming. And I have a lot of songs written, and I want to put more songs out there. And it's been a goal of mine. I've stated this, that I really wanted to get another album recorded, maybe not released before baby comes, but like recorded and like moving towards release before baby comes. 'Cause I have not really any delusions about being able to record music with a newborn infant in the house. We'll see how delusional I am when we get there, but I'm aware that like I have a limited amount of creative energy and time to myself left before I am officially the mother of another separate human being from myself, and have to like, I'm excited about that, but I'm also aware that that's a lot of responsibility and it's going to take a lot of my time and energy, and that some other things may have to step to the side. So I have said that I want to record and, you know, complete another album basically before baby comes. And I have several albums, mostly written. It's the issue of recording them and making all the art and stuff and promoting them and marketing them and releasing them and all that stuff. So the one that I have decided to work on, as you may have surmised from this, is called Birth of Venus, and has some celestial themes as well as some romantic and sexual themes. And I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited about pretty much all of the songs on this album. It's going to be a much longer album. Wildflowers was 10 songs. This is going to be closer to 20. Well, it was 17 when I committed to the project. And then the next day I wrote another song and I was like, this has to go on Birth of Venus. So it's now 18 songs long. It's possible that a song will get kicked from the project because I just can't make it work, get it recorded in a way that I'm happy with in time. It's possible that more songs will get written or moved into the project. I'm open to all sorts of possibilities. For my 100-day project, I don't have like a specific thing that I want to accomplish each day. I just want to make progress and do something towards making this album a reality each day. So whether that's recording a song or recording a single track of a song or doing my darndest to record a single track of a song, and not getting a single take that I like, but trying my best anyway, you know, that would count. And then, you know, making collage art for a single that I want to release as part of the album, that would count. You know, even if I can't like finish the collage on a day, you know, I think if I sit down for 15-30 minutes and work on it, that can count as part of my 100 days. And so I do want to create like a list that I'll probably tuck in this pocket here of like tasks that need to happen for this album to become a reality, including musical tasks, like digital computer tasks, or like technical tasks, I guess we'll say, artistic, like visual art tasks, promotional and marketing tasks, like social media tasks, all sorts of those things. And I think there will be at least 100 of those things that need to happen for this album. And that'll be like kind of for me to at least work off of, so that if I kind of hit a day where I'm like, what do I work on next? I have something to turn to. And then, so I just want to show you here what I've made. So I used my Botticelli art book. I'll show you. It's this one here. And I had been saving, I used some pieces from this for my Wildflowers album cover and for my Night of Torches. You'll recognize this is the Three Graces from the Primavera. She is the main figure on the cover of my single Night of Torches. And then I think there's something from Primavera on Wildflowers. That would feel very appropriate if there was. There's definitely some other Botticelli on Night of Torches as well. But in any case, we're using Botticelli Birth of Venus here. And there was this one picture of the whole Birth of Venus that I'd kind of been like saving to use in a collage for album art. And then I was just like, you know, this is actually too small to use as like a central figure in a collage. And I can get it printed bigger to work with anyway. So I am going to use this for the cover of my, it's not exactly a signature in this journal. What this is, and I'll tell you why I picked this page. So it was just this Thomas Kinkade like half page sticking out in front of this coffee dyed rose page. Here's the half page here as well. And I thought, well, the half page would be a nice thing to start an accordion on. And the other thing I thought is it's like, we're here right between, this is the first signature, and then this is the second signature now. And this is an envelope that I tipped in between the first and second signature. And even with this envelope tipped in, there's still quite a bit of room in between these two signatures, or in between this signature and this envelope. So I thought that would be a good place to have an accordion. And this spotted envelope is very stiff and kind of sticks out enough that it works as a really nice bookmark. So it's very easy, even though this isn't like the first thing in my journal, it's very easy to have it, you know, to go from all the way closed to we are here at the 100-day project, because I do want to check in with this every day, and I've set it up for myself to make it really easy to check in with it every day. So I made the pocket out of the Birth of Venus. And then they had, there was another page that had this like close up of the detail of these guys from it. So there's that used. And then the flowers that were in that section as well are kind of sprinkled throughout the rest of this section. So, so I made this pocket, and then I made this kind of journal card. It's not much to look at, but I just wanted to both kind of have the title of the project at the beginning, and then also have a space to, like now at the beginning before I start, which I'll probably do this tonight actually, journal kind of about like my overall goals for the project, where I'm hoping this will go, what I'm hoping to accomplish in this 100 days. I'm not sure that I'll necessarily like finish everything that I have to do for this in 100 days. I think I'll probably be able to get the whole thing recorded. But I'm under no delusions that it'll be like release ready in 100 days. But I think that if I'm diligent, I can get to a point within 100 days of daily attention to this project. I can get to a point where what I have left to do is manageable even with a newborn baby. And again, maybe that's me being delusional. We'll find out, and I will report back. So I wanted to have this journal card to kind of journal about my goals for the project and my vision for it, and like why I'm doing my first ever 100-day project or 100-day challenge. I literally, now that I'm filming, forget whether it's called the 100-day project or the 100-day challenge, but I'm sure that the correct name will be in the title of this video somewhere. So I wanted to make it easy to find the beginning. So I've started with back here where you just open it all the way up to the left. And I have just used my little alphabet number stamps and my Ranger archival ink in plum here to stamp out the numbers 1 through 100, so that I have a number for each day in the project where I can just come in that day and just make a note, or maybe the next day or whatever, and just make a note of what I accomplished or what I worked on that day, so that I have a record of my participation and of what got accomplished when, and just have like a thing to come back to and a way to participate in this. And then I also thought that like, you know, like here and here, for example, like there's some space if I want to add photos of me working on the project or whatever, or photos of art that I create for the project, there's like some spaces in this accordion for that sort of thing to get included. And then I just used my stencil here. I don't know, this is just, I think came in like a random set from Amazon. It's not like any particular brand, I don't think. And I don't have the information for it, sorry, but it is my favorite stencil. I use it a ton. And I just used that and this brush here to use the same plum archival ink here on this avocado dyed paper. So we've got this avocado dyed paper that's glued to the Thomas Kincaid page. And then this avocado dyed paper is then glued to actually a page from a garden book. It's called A Garden for All Seasons. It's really lovely. This is the book. Reader's Digest, A Garden for All Seasons. And I'm sorry that you can't watch the whole making of, because it was pretty cool. And then this is another scrap from the Birth of Venus detail there. And then we've got, there was a bunch of text on this page, and so I just covered it up. There's like some white space at the top, some white space here, and then there was a bunch of text down here. So I covered all that and left the flowers. And then you'll see more of the other side of the garden page. And then we've got some coffee dyed lace paper. And this was kind of a more experimental piece of the lace dyeing technique that I was like not following recommended instructions. And so it came out like different and weird and not very sharp, but I like it still. I think it's cool, and so I'm using it here. This was another page from A Garden for All Seasons, and I have just pasted some pink parchment paper and stuff, avocado paper, and cardstock, same as from the journal card, over the writing bits so that I would have room to document what I do for days 26 through 32 and days 33 through 38. And then this brings us back to the front of the signature, or the accordion. I don't know, are we calling it a signature now? I guess it's an accordion signature, kind of. And then, so I got to this point, and this you can see is a page from the Garden for All Seasons. So we've got this beautiful, beautiful, I think it's a camellia bush, actually. More camellias here. And then we've got this scrap here from the Birth of Venus, and then some pink parchment with just spots for writing. And I got to this point and I realized I was more than halfway through my accordion and just barely halfway through my numbers, and that like I didn't want to put numbers on the roses or the camellias. I didn't really want to put numbers on these, I think these are cherry blossoms maybe. And so I was like, okay, I need to add something. And so I added this tip in, which was an old envelope from something that my grandma sent me when I lived at a different address. And then I had like brayered over the outside of the envelope with this cool rust color. So I really love all those colors together. And then after I stamped the numbers on, I used that same stencil, but I used the, I think it's called like Flamingo Kitsch, or Kitsch Flamingo. Kitsch Flamingo archival ink. To get those flowers on there. And then I attached the tip in with, I think this is so cool. This is bookbinding tape that I stamped on using, I think I used Stays-On in Timber Brown because that was the only permanent ink I had at the time. The Ranger archival inks are kind of new to my collection. And yeah, so I was using the Stays-On in Timber Brown, and I just stamped some of my hand carved stamps onto bookbinding tape. And I forgot that I had this, but I was going through my like papers collection to pull stuff out for this accordion, and this was in one of my folders, and I was like, ooh, let's pull those out. So then I used them to attach this tip in. So, and I think I might go back, we'll see how I feel later. I might go back and do the numbers that are on kind of the rust colored paper in like gold embossing, because they're just not that easy to read. But they're also not that hard to read. And I don't know. I'm not like there's a part of me that wants to do it, and then there's a part of me that's like, that sounds like a lot of trouble, and I don't feel like doing it right now. So we'll see if I feel like doing it later. And then I was kind of getting worried about space, so you can see I really was cramming the numbers in here. And just on this tip-in, we go from 52 to 84, whereas we did like, what, 5 numbers on this whole page. But it all works out. It's all gonna be good. It's all gonna work out in the end. And then again, I figured like, this is so beautiful just as it is. I'm totally happy to just have this image here. But also if I wanna like put, I don't know, other relevant imagery or whatever, or if I do wanna add some writing space down here or whatever, or add a flip or whatever, I can do that. Then we go from 85 to 95 here. And I just put less on this page because I only had like less than half the page to actually write on. But I figured, yeah, if I need to, I can add more writing space, or I can add like photos on top of this. I'm okay with putting some photos on top of this, but I want to be able to see most of the beautiful flowers. And then we go from 96 to 100, and this is the avocado dyed paper again. And then this was, I believe I cut this rose out of a Garden for All Seasons, and I just felt like it went really nicely here and did a really nice job of like bringing together the Thomas Kincaid scene with the avocado paper, and then this is Wild Honey Ranger ink archival with the same technique that I thought kind of brought out the center of the flower and just kind of helped tie the whole thing together. And so I wanted to have a little bit of extra room at the end to journal about like feelings about the project afterwards. And I figured also like I won't use this page before then, so if I have more to say about the project after it's done, which I probably will, this page feels very appropriate with the roses to journal on as well for this. And then that takes us right to my Venus spread, which also feels really appropriate for being right next to the whole Birth of Venus project. So 100 Days of Birth of Venus, and I actually have tucked in the beginning here this journal entry that I did on some of my cabbage dyed paper about 100-day challenge. I wrote 100 days of what? And I was just kind of writing about like thinking about wanting to do 100-day project. Not challenge, project. And like thinking about like my motivations and what possible projects I could choose and why some would be good choices and some would be bad. And I just thought that I want to have this up here in the front of my journal with this 100 days of birth of Venus. Should I? Dare I? And then I kind of committed with this little drawing. And look, she's got a guitar. So yeah, I wanted to have this at the front of the journal so that I literally cannot like if I open the journal, I can't forget about the project. Even though it's easy to find if you know it's there, but if you forget that it's there, there's this right here at the beginning to remind you. So this I'm going to keep at the beginning for now. Once the project's over, I'll probably move this into this folder here, or this little pocket here. But yeah, so that is how I have set up my journal to keep me on track, or to help me track and stay accountable with my 100-day project and just kind of track what I'm working on and what I'm getting done each day. And I think it's really lovely. I've really been enjoying just looking at the pages. I'm sorry about my phone misbehaving and not properly recording the making of. I really would have liked to have shared that aspect with you. But yeah, are you doing a 100-day project this year? Have you ever done a 100-day project? If you have done one before, what was it? Or if you're doing one this year, what is it? I really want to hear about other people's projects. I'm really interested in it. I definitely thought about a lot of other potential projects, and I just thought, like, they sent out a newsletter and it was like, think about your motivation for the project. There's like 3 main motivations that people do this for, and it's either to play or to practice or to produce. And I was like, well, anything that I do that's creative will be play. That's pretty much a given. And practice is not a strong or fun or motivating motivation for me. And produce, man, if I really was going to commit to doing something for 100 days, I could really produce some stuff. And there are some things that I want to produce. And sure, I thought I could have done like 100 days of working on making journals or whatever, but like, let's be real, I'll probably do that anyway. Like, I feel like I feel like I've probably, like I could have done like 100 days of junk journaling. I've probably just done 100 days of junk journaling. I love playing in my journal, and it might just be like a minute on some days. And then it might be like 3 hours on some days. But like, I feel like that's something that like, you can't make me not do it. I don't need to commit to a special challenge or project to make sure that I do that every day, at least not now. That may change after baby, but right now I am really cherishing my creative alone time. And, using alone time on creative endeavors, especially journaling, is not a problem for me. And I kind of thought about like maybe 100 days of stamp carving, but then I was like, I might actually, 1, get bored of that, and 2, end up with too many stamps. I might actually end up with more stamps than I know what to do with. And so I settled on working on this album because it's been, it'll have been about a year since I put out Wildflowers when the 100-day project comes to an end. And, because I put out Wildflowers on the summer solstice last year. I put out the lead single for it, Night of Torches, on June 4th, which was the full moon before the summer solstice. And, my baby's due date is May 14th. I think the 100-day project ends on like May 27th or something like that. If you end on time, which I may or may not, we'll see. I'm going to try my darndest, but I'm also going to have grace with myself. But I'm also like highly motivated to work on this project. So I have also, in an effort to kind of get ahead of it and not be like anxious about this big project, I've already, I recorded my last album on my phone, and I tried to get my phone repaired so that I could do that again. And apparently it's like a motherboard issue. Long story. I've talked about it in other videos. I'm not going to go into it right now. And so I ended up, I decided that I was going to have to do my recording analog, because that's the other main method that's available to me. I have invested a couple $100s in a really wonderful Tascam 4-track tape recorder that I actually really love. It's just, it can be a little bit intimidating sometimes. And then my husband is kind of an audiophile, and so he just happens to have collected, and he's a musician himself as well, happens to have collected quite a number of microphones and cables and audio interfaces and things. And so between my 4-track tape recorder and his collection of audio equipment, we were able to put together a little recording setup that fits on one of the surfaces here in my Imaginarium. And so I've got basically like my journaling setup right here, and then I've got like my more like messy art table over there, and then over there I've got it's a Calyx shelving system, but on the top of the Calyx shelving system is my recording studio, and then 2 of the 8 cubes are devoted to kind of holding on to some of the music stuff. And so I've got that set up over the last couple days with his help, and kind of got out ahead of it and actually recorded 2 songs. I recorded 3 songs, but I'm only happy with 2 of them. The third one I'm gonna have to redo. So, I've been recording already, and then today we got all set up, kind of the workflow for the digitization process for moving songs from the 4-track tape recorder to a computer and to my phone and stuff, so where I can actually upload them to the internet and share them with people instead of just having them on a magnetic strip in my house. So I feel, one, there's a part of me that's like, you should have waited until tomorrow to do those things, because then you could have counted that as part of your 100-day project. But then there's a part of me that's like, no, that's dumb. Now they're done, so you can accomplish other things on your 100-day project. And the 100-day project feels less overwhelming, knowing that I have the recording set up, I have the digitization process set up, I know what songs I'm working on. The only intimidating part of that is there is still a song that needs to be finished written. And the last album that I did, it was 10 songs. I had written them all myself. I played them all myself. I recorded it all on my phone at my house, mostly in the middle of the night, sometimes a little bit in the morning before work. And it took me literally 10 days to make the album. 10 days of not really sleeping. It was sleep a little bit, wake up, record, go to work, record, sleep a little bit, repeat. And this is going to be a little bit of a different process because I have more responsibilities at home, but I also don't work out of the house anymore. It's also twice as long, and also there's definitely one song, and probably more 2 or 3 songs that I really would love it if my husband would play guitar on. And he is actually a fantastic guitar player. He's much, much better at guitar than I am, which is part of why I would love that. But there's I just want them to have a little more of a heavier, more powerful sound. And I'm very much a folksy fingerstyle, minimalist guitarist. I'm not a minimalist artist, as maybe you can tell, but I am a little bit of a minimalist guitarist, and my husband is not. And I think that some of the things that he can do would sound really, really amazing on some of the songs. And one of the songs that's actually one of my favorites, I think, which is actually called Botticelli. Can you tell I have a thing for Botticelli? Is one that he's kind of written a lot of the guitar part for. And that one, there's still a little bit of writing to be done on it. So I'm a little intimidated. That's the part of this project that scares me the most, is that I haven't finished writing that song. I don't know how that song is going to be fully structured, and just knowing that I have to coordinate with another human to make it happen, and that I can't just push myself harder to make it happen. There's another person that I have to coordinate with, which is not to say nothing against my husband. He's, again, super helpful and a really wonderful musician. It's just having another person involved complicates the project. So that's the part that I find the most intimidating. And there's some other intimidating parts. I'm a little intimidated by my concept for the album art, but I'm going to stop talking now because I've been talking for a long time and I've already shown you everything that I have to show you today, and you've been staring at this page for so long. And yeah, I will be checking in probably about once a week here with another video to let you know how my progress is coming. I'll also be sharing on Instagram. Probably I'll share like a weekly roundup of how my progress is coming, but then I'll probably be sharing like daily updates in my Instagram stories. So if you want to follow me there and follow along with the project there, I'm at Vervain and the Roses. I'll have that info all in the description below. And yeah, you've seen enough, and my voice is starting to hurt from talking too much. So I love you. Thank you so much for watching. Please do tell me about your 100-day project if you've done one before, if you're doing one this year, or about your experiences or whatever. I just want to hear about it. Please leave me a comment below. If you watched this far, please do like and subscribe so that we can continue down this journey together. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Have a wonderful, magical day, and bye-bye.